Welcome back to Off the Cuff. Knuckles here with you. We're going to head out to the left coast and talk to our good friend from the fourth period, Dennis Bernstein. What's up, Dennis?
Oh, good nuts, finally.
Finally.
On the horizon. Let's go. It's been a long summer.
Yes, no, it hasn't. It's been too short because I'm back here talking to you. Oh, God, my Red Sox are on fire. My Patriots are going to kick out of the Jets again. Oh, my God, I can't wait. Oh,
Your Sox better win it all, Nux.
They better. They better. You know, again, we had a good talk with Steve Buckley, the writer from the Boston Herald, yesterday, or 2 days ago. Sorry, and he's worried about the pitching a little bit. They're only getting 5 innings out of their starters right now, and they're waiting for Sale to come back, and Price got a little issue again. So. We'll see what happens there. But
that lineup, Nux. I watched that game yesterday.
Oh, crazy. 7-1 they're down. Now, it's nuts.
Hitters.
And then they go down again 8-7.
And they don't hit that many home runs like the Yankees do. They get base hits back to back to back. They just have a fantastic lineup. So I think, regardless of the pitching, I think that lineup's going to carry them. Yeah,
it should be interesting to watch. And now, listen, it's funny. We had a little meeting, and we talked about the Pacioretty talk. There's so much Pacioretty talk. So today, when I started the show, I said, I am not going to mention number 67's name until at least 1:30 when I have Stu Cowan on.
Good luck.
And it just, it's been all Pacioretty. And, but I'm not going there right now. I'm going to L.A. Kings because I want to know what's going on in L.A. Kovalchuk going there. And you know what? Pacioretty saying no. How's it look for the Kings?
I think look. A lot of people think they're going to regress. I think it looks really good. And look, they wanted both players. They wanted Ilya and Max, and they couldn't get it done. So I think right now the expectation is that Kovalchuk comes in. He's going to play alongside Brown and Kopitar. And even if they regress a little bit, they think if he's 80% of what he was when he left 5 years ago, Nux, it's 25 to 30 goals. And if it's 25 to 30 goals, last season when they skated off the ice after Game 4 in Vegas, their left-wing first line was a 9-goal scorer. So if you get 16 or 20 more goals out of that position, can you win the division? Can you get the 2 seed? Yeah, so I think they think really good about it. But the whole key to this team is not even Kovalchuk. It's that second line of Carter, who missed 55 games last year, Tyler Toffoli, and Tanner Pearson. They have to stand up. They have to produce as a unit. And if they do, they're going to be a very dangerous team, Nux. I think that's it. So I think they have a legitimate shot to win the division. If you win the division, even though it's not the greatest division in the world, you're a 2-seed, Nux, and you're going to get home ice in the first 2 rounds, and that's going to probably get you to a conference final. I think Vegas is going to regress. The Nate Schmidt stuff aside, I just think that I can't see them doing that again. And not only that, the first 20 games of last season, Nux, they had a free pass. Nobody expected that team to be good. Thought it was a guaranteed win with that team coming in the building. This year, from Game 1, that people are laying for them. So I like what the Kings have done. They needed to address scoring on the wings. They did that with Kovalchuk, and I think they're going to be in the mix to win the division title. Well,
the rookie camp starts here today, and when you talk about some good young talent in Los Angeles, you look at Gabriel Vilardi, you have Adrian Kempe, Iafallo. I mean, you got some good young players. You mentioned how important it was for them older players coming back, but these 3 young guys, and does Vilardi stay? He's on the first year of his entry-level contract. They got that 9 games to decide if they want to keep him or not. But God, they got some good young players.
Yeah, well, there's some challenges with Vilardi health-wise. So, look, he was penciled in to be on the third line with, you mentioned, Iafallo and Kempe. And that would be one hell of a third line. It'd be speed, it'd be skill, it'd be youth. The issue with Vilardi is that he has continuing back issues. So it's going to be probably an injury, and Rob Blake said that to us last week, that he's probably going to have to maintain and take care for the rest of his career. So it's that. So you could see down the line maybe a situation like Rick Nash has, because Rick Nash has always had a bad back. He's had to manage it. He's been very productive, been an all-star. So he's the real deal. He's the good. They slotted him in to do that, but he missed some. He had a setback a couple of weeks ago that we just found out about. But I think 2 days ago he was in full gear doing an informal skate. He came out of it fine. So it's something they have to monitor. But they do want to get younger and quicker on the bottom six. The top six, all veterans at this point in time. But the opportunity for this team, and one of the differences in last year as opposed to 2 years ago with Daryl Sutter, is their willingness to play younger players like Kempe, like Iafallo, and I suspect if Vilardi's healthy, he would start opening that on the third line as a right wing.
All right, the goaltender situation. Obviously, Jonathan Quick last year was a Kemper backed him up. How about Campbell? Is he the guy this year?
Yeah, Campbell's the backup this year, but they absolutely positively love Cal Peterson. Cal Peterson may be the heir apparent to Jonathan Quick down the line. Remember, he was a captain at Notre Dame. And for a goaltender to be a captain, that's something about his leadership. They love him. He's going to play in the American League this year in Ontario. But I would suspect that Jack's probably your perennial backup here in the organization. He's done well. He's been mentored. There's something in the war here about training and getting goaltenders back on track. And then they brought back Peter Budaj, who resurrected his career. Jack Campbell did not do well in Dallas. Got here, played very well, played well as a backup last year, and then Cal Peterson, walked away from Buffalo and has emerged as a really good goaltender. So they're setting goal. They expect Jonathan Quick to play 55 to 60 games, which I think is a sweet spot. Too much. I mean, he's getting to, he's in his early 30s now, so you can't really play him 70 games anymore. You really need a reliable number two. They have that in Jack Campbell, and they have depth in the organization. So it's one of the strong suits of this organization right now is goaltending behind Jonathan Quick. They have excellent depth.
Okay, so you get Ilya Kovalchuk. Age-wise, he's up there. What do you think? Like some numbers for this guy, and you think he's really going to thrive in Los Angeles, being out in L.A., Yahoo?
Yeah, because you know why? You know what's a big motivating factor for this guy? Is Alex Ovechkin and his Stanley Cup championship. Yeah. This guy, look, he got paid fair, right? He's 6.25 for 3 years. Look, it's a good term. He's 35 years old, 3 years. If he's good for 2 to 3 years, they won on this deal, right? So that's number one. Number two, there's a lot. This guy wants to come in. He never talked about money, never talked about goals. He talked about winning. The reason the Kings were really interested in wins, he just wants to win. He addresses a need, and he's playing with a guy who I think, I voted number one for the Hart Trophy last year, Anze Kopitar. So I got to think by default, putting him on, on the left side, putting him on the power play, the first unit for that one-timer, he's going to get 25 or 30. He looks like he's in shape. If you watch his workout videos, Knox, he's pulling cars around and trucks around and stuff like that. So
they're only little, what are them little Russian cars? Those are easy.
But he's motivated. He's in shape. I think he still has the skill. They did a lot of scouting on him last year in the KHL. So they had Mike Food over there, not only looking at him and looking at Slava Voynov if they decided to try to bring him back.
Yeah, what's the deal there? I was going to bring that up, Voynov. Sure. What's the deal with him?
All right, well, he's never going to play in Los Angeles again. I just think that at this point in time, ownership has made the decision that they don't want all the baggage and all the negativity that will be around wherever he decides to land. I don't see that. So I think that from respect to Los Angeles, I think once he is deemed eligible to be returned to the league, now he's got to get a work visa. The league has to. I assume the league is going to, at some point, they can't ban him for life, because of the CBA. So at some point in time, they will reinstate him. Probably have a 20 to 30 game suspension. I think when the time is right and he's eligible, I think Rob Blake's going to trade his rights somewhere and he'll play somewhere else because I don't think I'm pretty sure ownership doesn't want him back here. And I'll be honest with you, Nux, I don't know which team would want that distraction of this player because I always imagine
what a shame. What a shame what happened. Huh?
Well, look, if you want to be positive and fair and balanced, this is what I understand. He's living in Florida right now. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He got a visa for 3 years.
He's with his wife, right, Mata?
He's with his wife.
Yeah.
They're married, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of things that if you want to argue for this player, I get it. And if you want redemption and you think people deserve second chances, fine. I envision him though, if he was in LA, going into Philadelphia and playing in that arena with those fans, do I want to have to guard this guy against visiting media every single game? It's too much of a distraction,
Yeah.
People in LA wanted him back. I'm saying, you know what? Here's a better solution. Go out and find a replacement for the guy. Go find a right-handed top four defenseman, and you have to worry about this guy. You trade his rights. That's the issue. It's not the issue that the Kings needed him. The Kings never found a replacement for him. That's the challenge. That's the issue. That's why there's a faction of the fan base, even though it's small, that forgive Voynov and want him back and think it's hypocritical that the Kings don't bring him back. I don't agree with them. I wouldn't want to distraction. Does he deserve a second chance? Yeah, he does. I think there's a lot of other people who play professional sports who went through what he went through and have resurrected themselves, and he deserves a shot. Just not with my team. I just think it's way too much of a distraction at this point. And I think the league's all concerned about just the overall reaction to him coming back into the league.
All right, contract talks between the Canadians, Pacioretty, the captain, by the way, relatively non-existent. Max come out and his agent saying that they will not talk contract after the season starts. From the outside looking at it, I mean, it's crazy, but how in the hell does it get like this? When you're talking about the top 10 goal scorer in the league the last 6 years, your captain, how do they let it get this far?
Well, here's one thing that I don't think anybody's brought up, and I haven't read everything, and I haven't talked to I haven't had every take. But no, here's the thing. That guy is talented. I love Max. We all love Max. He's great. He's a role model. And like that. But here's the one thing that I don't understand. Nobody's really brought up that I could go over. So they were close with L.A. I don't ever think they think. I mean, Allen has said they had a done deal in place. I'm not sure that was the case. I think that what happened was there was a list of players. They were ready to do it. But, here's the thing, Nux. Like, it was supposed to be an extension and a trade. Right? So why isn't there a second or third or fourth team lined up behind the Kings to do the same deal? Because I think that's the only one place Max wanted to play, and that was Los Angeles. And that's why he wouldn't be, and it's the one place he'd be willing to sign an extension. Like, why wouldn't it be Edmonton or Anaheim or somebody else to line up and say, okay, we'll take this deal, we'll pay him, fine. Because to me, I think, in my opinion, is Max only wanted to play in L.A. He said, okay, I'll sign and extend in L.A. and I'll make the trade. Why isn't there a second team involved? Because I think at this point in time, if you trade for Max, it's a rental. And that's the issue. And
obviously, but don't you think Bergevin could be asking for way too much? We look at what Sakic did with Duchesne. Yeah. Okay, he was asking for a lot. He held out. He finally got it in Ottawa. Yeah. What a deal. But here's Mark Bergevin, has a team that's starved for goals. You're leading goal scorer, and you want to get as much return, but they could get to the point here where you get next to nothing. It's going to be so embarrassing.
Yeah. It could be nuts, but again, here's the problem. He's not a center, he's not a defenseman, he's not a goaltender. He's a left winger. So give me the team that's right there, that's on the verge of a championship, that's going to give you 4 assets for Max Pacioretty, for a rental. There isn't one, right? So look, this trade should have been done a long time ago. And I'll be honest with you, I'll put my agent hat on. No way he reports to camp. If I want to get out of here, because look, I agree with Stu Cowan. I don't ever think there's going to be an extension in Montreal. And Allen's forcing the issue by saying, look, we're not negotiating. I get that stance. It's a great stance. It's a right stance, right, to try to get some traction here. But if I'm this player, I'd not get paid in preseason. I'm staying out of camp. I don't need to be in camp. It's you see that in the NFL all the time. We had it here in LA with Aaron McDonald. Aaron didn't show up until he got his extension. He didn't play one game of preseason. Max doesn't have the preseason. I would not have him report to camp. I really want to see a clear message. Hey, get me out of here. And you have to dial up the threat because there's 2 options here. You extend him or you trade him. And I don't know why you would start the season with this guy. Give another team the opportunity to play him for a full season, get a better playoff position, get a better playoff run, and make the trade. So make the trade now. I think at some point in time, Bergevin's got to say, okay, there's 6 teams. You know what? On September 30th, call up 6 teams and say, I'm making my decision on this trade in 24 hours. I need your best offer. And just hold your nose, hope you get the best, and make the trade.
Oh, hold your nose big time because you're not going to get much. Oh, God. So, listen, you're coming to town apparently.
The goal is to get there for the Kings start the Habs home season that Thursday night. So yes, the plan is to get on a plane, come in studio with you, get to the game, and have a lot of fun. But I'm looking for because I've never been to a Habs opening night, and I know how special that is. So that's
cool.
The plan to come up in October and sit with you and have some good time.
So here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. You come in on the show, and maybe we'll go grab a bite to eat before the game. You and I will go have.
Absolutely, no.
I'll treat you.
We've never met face to face.
Never. I know. I can't wait. I got a new puppy. Did you see that?
Yep, and I'll send you. I got 2. We did a photo session.
Yeah, that's right. We did. I forget. My head is spinning half the time.
I know. I got you.
Running here, running there. Dennis, listen, thanks for taking the time. I can't wait till October to see you and finally look you in the eye and tell you the Yankees suck.
You're the best, Max. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Dennis. Thanks. Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. I love talking to Dennis. Just he goes. He's one of them guys. He's one of those guys that can talk a dog off a meat wagon.
I have never heard that one before.
And speaking of that, well, how about a cat off a fish cart?
Never heard that one either.